guys of United Rock Nations. We are in amazing company with Mario of Sirius Black. How are you?
Well, I'm fine now again. I'm fine again. You see, totally relaxed, freshly showered. That you don't. Yeah, well, I took a shower because I thought probably you can smell it in France, France as well, right? So. No, well, I'm totally relaxed. I'm really proud on the album, and yeah, well, I feel really good so far.
So, of course, you talk about the new album of February. The new album, Vengeance Is Mine, will be released. We would like to speak about the life of Sirius Black in studio. Tell us more about what happened before entering in studio to record an album.
So this was a really strange situation, actually. You know, we were touring, with Hammerfall in before COVID. This was hitting us in a complete horrible way, right? And the COVID time, I did a little bit of relaxing, and first, of course, it was strange that you enjoyed the time somehow, right? So, you don't have stress, you don't have to go on tour. So music gets a little bit back, you know what I mean? And because I do also productions for other bands and stuff like this. And this was really strange. And then it was, I think, 5 months after they hit the lockdown, right, in summer 2020 or something like this, right? And I said, okay, now I'm in the mood, to make an album, right? So of course, we had contact with Bob again, with Bob Katzionis, because the Bob and we are very close friends. We are talking also sometimes about what the mother of his butcher and this hairdresser is doing, and whatever. So we have we still keep our friendship, right? And Bob said, he's actually really happy, and he wants to be on our side to make the new album, right? And so we started to write. Bob was sending a few tracks, right? I was writing some tracks. Dominic was writing some tracks, and I started to arrange the songs here. I kick out this and put in there a new chorus, for example, and I put here the bridge out and put it here inside, and I tried to make everything in a very good way, right? So the strange situation was that Urban was not jumping in. I don't know why, So anyway, so we moved forward, and we were working, and we of course, when you're doing an album, you have in the end of the pre-production 25, 27 songs, right? And from this you choose the best ones, right? Or something like this. This actually should happen this way. So I started, and it takes a long time to make them, but the melodies and harmonies, it was like a new spring. Bob was jumping in with, I have here idea and there idea, and then suddenly the record company was jumping in the first time, actually, that Sydney, the promo manager, right, from us, he jumped in and he said, and also Niels, the Geschäftsführer, I don't know the name, who is taking part, the CEO, it's the right name. So he jumped in, and they said, well, this sounds great, and probably here you can do something, and here and whatever. So it was a complete other working construct, right, for us. And yeah, well, so I arranged everything, and it sounds really good so far. And about the other things, what happens with Urban and how we were working and why we were working on the songs like this, and why the album is called Vengeance is Mine. We do in a separate interview, but anyway, so I get a very, very hard hit of life in the beginning of, I think it was beginning of April. And so I felt in the physically and in the
mentally,
not very well, right? And about the situations, what happens, right? And I started to write. I start to write down the last 5-6 years, you know, from my life, from my past. And yeah, well, this was really, really crazy, actually. You know, I need the work that I don't go crazy, right? And so I worked like a bastard. You know, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And well, here are when here I can show you, because it's still laying here. This all I wrote. So these are many, many, many fucking lyrics, right? Both sides. So I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and yeah, well, this helps me to get out of the shit, right? And yeah, well, but it was actually crazy, because the record company, right? They said, you haven't to do it, right? You haven't to do it, but if you want to do it, then do it. And also, it was very nice from my record company, actually, right? That they say, here you have a telephone number, and it doesn't matter the time or the day. If you need somebody to talk, here is the number, call us 24/7, right? I never used this number, never used it. But yeah, in fact, it was so such a great feeling, because suddenly Rami was coming from behind Nuremberg, right 250 kilometers or 300 kilometers one way. He was spending here 2, 3, 4 nights, right, for writing. And then suddenly we started to record, and he said, yeah, well, I want to bring it on tape, right? And yeah, then Dominic was coming from Austria, right? He filled out all informations about the COVID that he can jump in, and then we spent here a lot of fucking time, and it was crazy. Bob, of course, it was not allowed to fly in, right? So he was on Skype with us, and of course this makes this made the working flow even harder, because you can't do anything in real time, right? You have to bounce out the files, you have to send it to Greece, he has to do this, he send it back. The same when Dominic left, you know. So what this enormous, amazing gigabytes what we were sending in this internet, this is crazy. But in total, it was the working flow. It was so awesome, you know. We melted together like one piece, also with the record company, and the record company was jumping in, and yeah, probably here put something like this, and then Bob, no, we have to do it exactly this way. And then I said, no guys, we do it this way. And then Rami, nah, listen to Bob. Okay, listen to Bob, let's jump in, right? So it was totally crazy, actually. But I think the album, yeah, well, when we heard the you know what we were doing in music, and then you have the ideas to use a talk box, what you use in the 80s, for example. You know,
Yes.
nobody's using it anymore. And yeah, well, here put orchestra, and here we do some synthesizer. It was very, very, very yeah, impressive to work like this. And well, of course, in the meantime, Urban said, and we don't knew anything about it, I quit the band. So we were standing here, right? We were standing here, and we said, fucking hell, what's going on? It's totally crazy, actually, right? In the interview, I tell you what happens directly, but anyway. So of course, then you had the next problem, because we said we also had scheduled a tour, right, for this January.
Absolutely.
And so we fixed already the release date and what we want to do and stuff like this. And then this fucking idiot, he's saying, I'm leaving the band, and nobody knows anything. We recognized it from the magazines out of the internet. You know, this was really strange to us, right?
He didn't call you.
No. So anyway, so we need to search a singer.
Absolutely.
So, and then find a guy who is fitting 100% to the band, where you say, okay, this guy wants to work with you. He's fresh, he's young, he's singing, he, yeah, could sing this what we are doing, because this album sounds a little bit different, right, to the old, or to the previous one. And yeah, well, suddenly we had yeah, well, we had a lot of guys who wants to sing, right? And for it was also great before that we, you know, suddenly Henning was calling, you know, Henning Basse from ex-Firewind and from Metallium, right? And he said, Mario, can you help me out somehow, or something like this? And so I started to write on, well, on the most songs I had it already, the lines, what I want to sing, or how the harmonies are going with the voice. But on 4 or 5, or yeah, 5 songs, I think it was, the Henning said, I said, Henning, I have absolutely no clue how we can sing it here, right? I know exactly how it should sound like, but I don't know to fill the words from the lyrics in what I wrote, right? And Henning said, Mario, I help you. So this was the next very, very, very fucking great thing, what happens, right? So, yeah, well, I worked with Henning, and beside we were searching, of course, a new singer, and suddenly AFM was calling, and they said, well, we have here also a few singers, so let's do something like a recall or something like this, like an audition, right?
Yes.
So well, and we get a few demos, and well, it was every time like this that I say, oh fuck, awesome voice, you know, but it's not directly fitting to this what I think, right? And then I was waiting, of course, for Nicholas, and it takes a while. And I wrote him and I said, Nicola, have you got probably now a demo or something like this? And Nicola, yeah, I'm on it, and I'm on it. 2 weeks later, Nicola, I wait for your demo. And suddenly at 1 o'clock in the night, the Facebook messenger popped up, and he said, Mario, I had not enough time. Here's the first chorus, the bridge, and the first verse, the first bridge, and the first chorus. I hope it's enough. I put play, and it was like the angels were singing, and during the singing, they are squeezing your balls. And then I said, fuck, yes, that's it. So, and then everything was starting in a very, very, very cool way. So actually we booked a studio in Serbia where Nikola is living, right? And he started to sing, and the climatic was on of the studio, so he went ill on the second day. And I thought, fucking hell, we have to deliver in 4 weeks. And now he's ill. So when you are ill, you need 10 days, right? With a flu, till you can sing. The studio was gone as well. So no chance to record. Then I said, okay, we have the COVID shit. And Nikola had COVID, in July. So this was in front of the studio. So for me, a world broke down, and I booked him a flight, and I said, okay, let's record here in Munich, right? In the Sirius Black Studios. And he agreed, and we made it possible to catch a flight for him. And and then we locked the house, we locked the house, we locked everything. And we were working really every fucking day till 7 o'clock in the morning, till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And Nikola was just drinking tea and stuff, and the bonbons for the throat, right? And whatever. But it worked perfectly, right? With the ideas and blah, blah, blah. And then, we came with the idea was coming in our head. Hey, let's do a video, right? The Senso della Vita was released right now.
Absolutely.
And so we invited Ingo Spörl, and we said, one day when Nikola is here, you have to come. Of course, we lose also an additional 1 day for this. And Nikola has just time, 8 days, but we want to do it. And we did it. And it was fantastic. So everything melted also here together with the videos, with the ideas and whatever. And this was really, 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 really crazy, right?
Absolutely.
I was overwhelmed when we were done with the recordings, and suddenly during the previous night, I heard the song Story, and I said, okay, we have to record this as well. And every guy of the band, they said, are you crazy? We are nearly done, and now you're starting again, right? And then I said, okay, I want it. And we did it, and it was fantastic. Everybody was standing in front of the speakers here. I don't know if you can.
Yes.
And it was amazing, right? We arranged it, and it was sounding very cool and stuff like this. And suddenly we were done with the recordings. I started to mix 3 weeks. Day by day, also less sleep. Fuck off. I can sleep when I'm dead, right? And
talking about the mix, the previous album, Suite 226, was mixed by you.
yes.
But As Daylight Breaks or Mirror Worlds by Jan Vasik, and Magic by Mike Streetkirk. So how do you change, and you prefer to mix yourself than to use an outsider engineer?
Well, the point was following, on the Suite 226, it was actually, let's start from the beginning, right? When we founded the band to make the As Daylight Breaks record, right? I was during this production, I was on tour as sound engineer. So I had no chance to mix. Jan was a long years before my partner in the Dream Sound Studios, and we did a lot of production together, right? So Jan said, okay, it's also my band. I'm mixing it, and I recorded the As Daylight Breaks with Jan, you know, so I recorded everything and blah, 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 but I had to go on tour, and this was the reason why Jan was mixing it. On the Mirror World, Jan was mixing it, and I did the complete recordings. That we have distance, you know what I mean? Actually, you need distance, right? Between writing, recording, mixing, because when you are too deep inside, you're mixing like this.
Absolutely.
So the magic, I was the volunteer. I learned sound engineering by Spike Streifberg. You know, he was also doing Def Leppard, Phil Collins, and stuff like this. You know, he's a very experienced sound guy and stuff like this. But yeah, well, I enjoyed to work with him together and whatever. But you know, this is really this album, The Magic, has a lot of dynamics, right? So you know it, right?
Absolutely.
So it has a lot of room and stuff like this. And actually, this is the point. Today, you can't find a power metal album or a rock album where you have this like in the 80s or 90s or something like this. I enjoyed the mix because here is the difference. When the mix is not too pumped up, right? You can make it louder without any distortion, right? And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger how louder you are putting the volume, right? Or rising the volume, or cranking up. It's the right word. So so that was really nice. And on the Suite 226, we had the following problem, that Irvin wasn't deliver the vocal lines. So I had no chance to mix it in a very, very good way or whatever, because for the final mix, I had just 4 days.
Oh.
So this is what happens over years. But well, we jump in the interview, like I said. This is a different story, and this has nothing to do with the studio report, right? Anyway, I just explained it. So I mixed the Suite 226 in 4 days, actually, right? And this for, I think, 13 or 12 songs or something like this. So, sorry, it was my fault that people were sometimes, well, some enjoyed it because it sounds different to Magic, new, more modern, right?
Absolutely.
More modern. But of course, for a lot of people, not a lot of people, a few people, they say, the vocals are too low or whatever, right? But this is a question of taste, you know? So because you can have the vocals here, or you can have the vocals in the mix, right? And this is the difference. So anyway, and here it's like this. I think a very good sound guy, especially live. But here in the studio, you know, I look also that that's not what rock or metal needs, you know, is in a production. You know, it's heavy metal. It has to rock. It has not to cut it straight and whatever. And here is a E from the guitar. It has to be in because this is fucking rock and roll.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
And on this album, I had now time. I recorded the complete instruments in front. I started already during the recording with some ideas for mixing the drums, that the toms are sounding like cannon shoots, for example, right? You know, in a natural way, not like you hit on plastic, you know?
Yes.
That you have the balls of the kick that you have the original snare, not the much triggering on side and stuff like this. So I blew it up from the beginning. And here I had the stuff. And then when Nicola was starting to sing, the mix of the instruments was nearly done. Only the keyboards were missing, right? So I just need put in the keyboards and Nicola's voice and the choirs and the ideas and the effects. But yeah, well, it makes so much fun, you know. I was this time really fucking picky, you know. No, this is too much. This is too less. No, fuck off.
And do you share the mix with the other members of the band to have their ideas about it?
No, on this is it's always like this, you know. When they had recorded, of course they are coming with in the final mix, right?
Yes.
For example, Dominic says, just put here the solo a little bit higher, or make or here I have an idea with additional echo or something like this, or a delay or whatever, right? This we can do like this. This is then the final mix. There are the guys complete involved. But when I start recording, I already start with the mixing process, right? When a keyboard is going, I don't know if you listen to the album now with headphones. Suddenly you hear here on this side the deeper voice, what you don't recognize actually when you don't have the speaker, the headphones on.
Yes, absolutely.
Or suddenly you hear the keyboard like this.
I understand, yes.
And this is what makes a mixing guy that yeah, well, it's very good when he's thinking in an active way, you know what I mean? So you can find small pieces from and collecting pieces in a complete album, you know, where you say, wow, cool, this I don't recognize in the car, right? And for example, when you listen to Soldiers of Eternal Light, you hear from the gun, from the sniper gun, and it's an original sniper gun actually, what I recorded.
Yes.
It's like, and then you hear the shoot from here to here.
Okay.
It's going through your head, right? And this is what makes this yeah, well, this album also very special for me, because I put in many ideas. And yeah, well, yeah, well, I put in so much stuff also that I put it on the Tonight I'm Ready to Fight. I reversed something. You hear vengeance is mine, and then suddenly it's going in a devil's voice.
Okay.
So have fun when you have, because I don't tell you what I say there, but if you have the vinyl, just pull it back.
Okay.
So you see, well, actually, so the mix was done, and the master was done, and I drove then to Italy because I said, yes, we are done. And I was on my house in Italy, right, on the beach, and suddenly something was missing in my life. I thought, well, the production is done. What we do is next. And I had a call on the same night. I was sitting on the beach with a vino, right? And suddenly I called Rami, I called Dominic, I called Nicola, Bob, and I said, what do you think when we do a special this time? And they said, what? And I said, well, I enjoyed it so, yes, so it was such a great feeling to work so close together that I miss now something. And well, then I said, yes, it was something special. All the heart, all the sorrows, what we shared together, and all the stuff. So maybe we should do a special. What is in your mind, Mario? And I said, well, you know, we're telling in this album Vengeance is Mine about the past years, right? And they said, yeah, and what do you want to do exactly? And I said, well, let's go back a little bit and remember on the song Story, what happens in my life. That's because these things are happening. I'm here on this point where I'm standing now, right? And I said, well, maybe we should record a record with 8 or 9 cover songs. What brings us on our way to the music. So we started, and they said, well, it don't sound bad. So what's in your mind? And I said, well, on me, the first concert was Roxette, where I was visiting, or where I was going with my mom. I was 7 years old this time, right? On the Joyride record. Right. Anyway. And then Rami said, well, I have here a song, The Driver's Seat, what brought me a little bit on this direction. So suddenly Dominic said, yeah, well, the look of Roxette was also very good, right? And then I said, well, yes, The Boys of Summer, I enjoyed a lot when I think back when I was 14 or something like this, and I was singing this all the time. And so we started already to collect the songs. And then when I said, for me, it was very cool when my mother was listening to the Bad album from Michael Jackson, because actually I have to say my mom and my dad, they are also heavy metal guys. Oh. They are listening to Scorpion, of course. In the former time, Scorpions, Bon Jovi, it was rock or metal, right? Absolutely, so there were not so many genres, folk metal, power metal,
yes,
black metal, holy metal, white metal, whatever. Fuck the metal. Anyway, so they're listening also to this, but I know I remember exactly when my mother was listening to the Bad album from Michael Jackson, and there was Dirty Diana. And then everybody, and suddenly it was silence. And I said, why nobody's telling you something? And they said, Mario, this is a hit worldwide. How you want to do this fucking song in a very cool way.
Okay.
And how Nicola should sing these high vocals. Because believe me, this is what Michael Jackson is doing in this song. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
This is the highest.
Absolutely.
This is the fucking highest.
It's a great singer. It's a great singer.
Yes, amazing. He was,
yes.
Anyway, so, and I said, no, I want to do it. And Nicola said, do you think I can do it? And I said, if you can't do it, no other guy can do it. I'm pretty sure. And so everybody was a little bit looking strange, but they said, okay, so let's send tomorrow an email to AFM Records, say we want to do it for the special edition for the box, and then let's move forward, right? So we did it, and also AFM was really skeptical about this additional CD, because when they saw just hits, you know, Boys of Summer, The Look, Spending My Time, Rocking in a Free World, whatever, they say, okay, now we are curious how you want to manage it. And now it comes the big secret. We did the songs, and believe me, if you hear it, your goosebumps going like this. Because it was additional, a horrible work that everybody in the end of this production of the second CD, because we had also a limit, right? So a deadline, a very strict one, because about the COVID, you know, the vinyls, everything is taking longer, you know, to manufacture it and stuff like that.
Exactly, yes.
But we had exactly a deadline, and it was really, really tough. And I said, well, let's go just with 30 lines, okay? Let's go just with 30 lines and go ahead. In the end, the biggest song has orchestration with more than 100 lines again. So fucking hell. But we fixed it, and it was, when this was done, we felt really like one piece. And this was actually a very, very, very fucking nice story. Yeah, what
and we can't wait to listen.
What again?
We can't wait to listen.
Well, this special CD of this, of this 80 cover CD, right? It's just in the box set.
Oh, okay.
So it's limited on 666 pieces, and this time, because everybody was laughing when we set a post in Facebook, and somebody was writing, "I bought the box immediately," and I commented, "Me too." And I had a lot of smileys, you know, but it's actually the truth, because we said with the band, we really want to do a limited edition.
Absolutely.
666 pieces.
And it will be released on the same day of the release of the album.
Yes, on the 25th of, if you pre-order now the box set, there is also a very, very fucking awesome towel inside.
Right.
Yeah, well, but it's limited on 666 pieces. And also we with the band, we said, no, we don't catch out the 5 pieces, you know, that of course people can just buy. Yeah. 661. No, we buy the stuff by our own. So it's the truth, actually. We bought really our own record.
So thank you very much for all these informations about the way this new album was created, with a lot of information about the recording process, the mixing process, and then the release of the album. So of course, we will see you again for the release of the album, talking about the album, about the songs, about the lyrics, about everything, but it's in another interview. So thank you very much for all these informations. We hope you the best, and we can't wait to listen to all this music.
I say thanks a lot again for this amazing interview, and it was nice to welcome you here in the Sirius Black Studios, so I can show you a little bit here. And well, I'm really looking forward to the interview. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned, metal guys. Listen to the album, to the singles, and rock on. We see us next time.
Thank you very much,
Mario.